Hey everybody. It is Sunday, April 15th, and it is my 1-year Flosstubiversary. By the time this gets uploaded, it might be a couple days because service and that sort of thing. But I wanted to get on and kind of talk about my first video, where I have come since then, and then show you some of my mania whips. I can't show all of them because several of them are ornaments from digital magazines or this ornament book that I have, and I don't have pictures that aren't the patterns. I don't think, pretty sure. Anyway, so I will show those in a little while. I'll get to the mania part after the Flosstubiversary part. I've got some crazy hair going on tonight. Like, my curls in the back have just totally gone crazy tonight. I think it's all the wind and the dirt, and yeah, so it's kind of crazy. I can't turn off the AC. I did check to see if it was too loud. It didn't seem to be louder than I can be, so I'm not turning it off because it's too hot for that. So let's get started. I went back and I watched my first video and I made a few notes, so to kind of touch base on some of the things that I said in that video, and where I am since then. So when I made that video, I did like a whip parade. I had been seeing tons of whip parades on Flosstube, and I was binge watching like 3 or 4 Flosstubers on my way to work, because I had a 2-hour drive to work every day at the location that I was working. 2 hours there, 2 hours home. So I would put a Flosstube video on and set it off to the side and just listen to it mostly, because a lot of them were Jessie Marie, and you know, she can kind of tell long stories when it comes to things, and so I had a lot to listen to and I didn't have to look over very often, so it wasn't a big deal. And then I was watching it at work, just hooked, obsessed, and so I decided to finally make a video. And I was very nervous, and at first I recorded it and I uploaded it. I told my husband, he watched it, and remember, this is not my husband's thing at all. He doesn't cross stitch, he listens to me talk, and he feigns interest to make me happy, but that's about it. So when I said, you know, I made this 20-minute video all talking about my stitching, please go watch it. Actually, no, what it was, I couldn't get it to upload while I was at that location, and I left it on his iPad, and he took the iPad to work and he watched it while he was at work, and I was so totally embarrassed. And he was like, it was actually really good, like it made me almost interested, you know. And so I uploaded it, and then I wasn't like gonna post it in any of the Facebook groups. I really, honestly, if nobody ever watched it, I would have been completely okay with that, because I was so embarrassed and shy, and you know, that. So then I did mention it to one of my buddies on Facebook. She was in one of my event groups, like, and you know, we made a group on Facebook Messenger, and so she was somebody I had been conversing with, and I was like, tell me what you think, and she blasted it all over the Facebook group. So within the first week, I had almost 100 followers, and I was amazed, and I just kept going from there because of that. Because I had had blogs in the past, and I never got very many followers, or I'd have what looked like a pretty number, but then you know, I was never getting comments. There was no interaction between me and the people to make it worth coming back every week. So I figured this was going to be like that. I was going to do it a couple times. It was going to go nowhere. And I was going to stop. And here we are 1 year later. 548 followers later, or subscribers later. This is video number 45. So that's almost a video a week for the entire year. And that's pretty good considering during the summer I pretty much didn't record. But there was a few weeks where I had like 2 or 3. So that is how I got my FLOSSTUBE start. For those of you that haven't been around since the first episode, or gone back and watched them, like Regina, the sweary stitcher who blew me up one day because she literally watched me the entire day. Okay, so when I did like a whip parade, and at the time I just started dipping my toe into having multiple projects. The summer before that, I had participated in Cross Stitch and Discuss 7 whips in 7 days, and then a Stitch Olympics event called sorry about that, ran out of memory on my iPad. Okay, so there were, in Cross Stitch and or Cross Stitch It's Fun, I think, I can't remember which group, they did an Olympic event, and or a whole bunch of Olympic events, kind of like we did in Stitch Mania this year, and one of them was new starts, and so I ended up doing several new starts for that. At this point, I was not even in Stitch Mania, so I know it didn't have anything to do with Stitch Mania. I found Stitch Mania around the same time I became a FLOSSTuber, like maybe a couple weeks beforehand, and wanting to participate in Stitch Mania was part of what pushed me to do my first FLOSSTube video. So I just really started dipping my toe into having multiple projects, not just one. Shortly after I did all those projects, I kind of went on a stitching hiatus for a few months. I wasn't feeling it, or whatever happened, I wasn't stitching. And then shortly before I started making these videos, I had really delved back into it pretty deep, so I wanted to, so a lot of these projects were small. A lot of them did not have hardly anything done on them. Okay, so I had 15, and of course my mini treasure hunt bookshelf was one that I had because I've had it since like 2015. But it's what killed me out for a while on stitching, so I didn't even have, I want to say maybe a quarter of the page done at this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 15 projects, one of which is that Heaven and Earth design. Of those projects, 1, 2, 3 of them are currently projects that are in my rotation now. The first of which is my Under the Sea Stitch Along, which you've been seeing kind of a lot recently because it is my focus piece this month. My mini treasure hunt bookshelf, and the Advent Animals. I had started those at that point. 2 of the 15 were stitch alongs, which I'll get back to because I'm going to go through these kind of sort of. And then let's see, most of them, almost all of them, were small, what I would consider a small to a medium project. Cat Trio was probably one of my bigger ones, just simply because it was full coverage. So I'm going to go down the list. I was doing the Doreen Jones and Lakeside Needlecrafts Fantasy Stitch Along. I was completely caught up. So actually you don't see it in that first episode because I didn't have it with me, but it was one I was working on and I was caught up through April. So, and I stayed completely caught up with that one the entire time. Finishing it out just days after they released the last piece. The New the Sea Stitch Along, which y'all know. Excuse me. A lot of these, if you saw my end of the year wrap up video, you will have seen these as finished pieces, because none of these did I not finish at some point, like UFO. So Jack-o'-lantern was the cat with the pumpkin on the purple. I guess I really should have had pictures, but we're talking. I just barely started it. Like, you literally see the cat's head and like 2 bats. It was, I mean, barely started. But that's not one I did on that really pretty fabric I had bought for the Fantasy Stitch Along, but I had not bought a big enough piece. So, Cat Trio. This was my first project where I did color changes. I substituted out, well, not completely even substituted out. The piece had 3 blue colors, 3 green colors, 3 brown colors. Green and brown for the big cat, blue for the small cat, and blue for the background. But I wanted the small cat to be purple. So then I still had those blue colors on the background, but then when they were in the cat, it was a different color. So then each symbol stood for 2 different colors. It sounds more confusing when I'm talking about it than it actually was, but I thought it was pretty impressive for the first time of me doing that all on my own. And it was a pattern out of a cross stitch magazine, out of the World of Cross Stitching magazine. So I had a seahorse bookmark. I was working on Hello Kitty for my little sister. You may have seen that one a couple months ago, because I just fully finished them at Christmas time and got them to Hello Kitty and Golurk. Both were ones I showed in my first video, and were ones that I fully finished in December and got to my brother and sister. I worked on an elf ornament for my nephew, Sylveon for my daughter, a Christmas ornament called Snowflakes Are Like Angel Kisses. I remember finishing that one late last year because it's still not FFO'd. It's in my bag of whatever you want to call it. The Live Simply, Love Truly, I don't even remember. Yeah, don't remember. And Faith. Which it was kind of funny because I talked about how I really like the color scheme of Faith. It was a kit that I had bought, and how I had done most of them, but I wasn't doing all of them because the last few, they had completely changed the color scheme. Keep this in mind later. Remember what I said just here. Okay. A couple other notes I made about my first video. My hair. Okay, so my hair looks really short tonight because it's all curly, but I mean, it's whatever. It is what it is. Let me show you, and the picture is pixelated, and it's horrible. No, I'm not gonna show you that. Wow. Okay. Look at that. I had no hair. Here's one that's not pixelated, but it's a horrible picture. Yeah. I had pretty close to completely buzzed all my hair off. Because I was just tired of dealing with it out here with all the dust and the wind, and I'm starting to remember why I kept it so short last summer. I have not cut it once since my first video. So this is exactly how much it's grown in 1 year. But even now, I've been so tempted to chop it all off again because it's hot. It gets nasty out here. I feel like I need a shower. Well, I'm going to feel like I need a shower as soon as I leave work every day anyway, because it's dusty and dirty. But it's worse when your hair feels nasty. Anyway. So, yeah, that was one thing I wanted to mention. I made this comment about in one of my videos, or in my first video, about one of my projects. If I will take some time and think about what I'm saying, I might actually be able to talk. I said that I'm a messy stitcher because I had threads hanging off everywhere, and I feel like I've said that almost every video since. I really am. I instead of flipping over the project and tying off and everything like that, I'll just go really far away from everything else, throw that thread through, and then I know other stitches are going to cover up that thread in the back and make sure it's tied down really well, and then I'll just snip it. So, yeah, I thought that was funny. Also, my very first shout out on my very first video was for Jessie. And I feel like I talk about her a lot. But, I was talking about the birthstone dragons. I wasn't working on, I hadn't done April's yet because one of the themes for Jessie Marie's birthday stitch along was, I think it had something to do with diamond, because you know that's her birthstone, because April's her birth month. So I was like, I'll do the April dragon, which is the diamond dragon. And is that right? Yeah. And so I thought that was really funny because it's come full circle. We were talking about her birthday song not that long ago, and so it's neat to see where you were a year ago and where you are now, and you see that so much more when you make videos all the time than you do any other time. Okay, it's got to go up because for some reason it's really hot in here tonight, or I'm hot, like my ears. Anyway, okay then. Happy Flosstubeiversary to me. Flosstubeiversary. I can't speak tonight. I'm so glad to have celebrated 1 year with everybody, to see how far I've come, to see how many people I've made friends with and actually talked to since then. Because, okay, so for example, I mean, we all say, you know, I don't have a stitcher near me. Well, not everybody, because some of y'all are very lucky to have stitchers nearby. But a lot of us, we enjoy this community because we don't have, you know, a neighbor a town away or whatever that we could go and sit down and have a chat with and stitch with and share our progress, and how Monopoly makes me want to pull my hair out, and understands the frustration and the love. Because I mean, I've talked to people and I'm like, oh, this project is just, it's driving me crazy. It's going to kill me. And they're like, why do you do it? Just don't do it. And I'm like, because I love it. I love the stitching. It's just this, you know, you sympathize. Y'all understand. But, see how I bounce all over the place? I'm a mess. Okay. But, if you go into Stitch Mania, they have a where are our community, right? Like, you go in and you put your town, your state, and you can kind of look through that list and go, oh, well, that's just a couple towns over. Oh, that's just, you know, that's not too far. I do have stitchers around me, even if y'all don't get together and don't meet up, they're kind of close. I don't have that. Literally, like, I've looked through the Stitch Mania list and at all the Texas stitchers, and most of them are over in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, because you gotta understand, and most people will, like, if I say I'm going to Houston, I'm not literally going to the city of Houston. I am going to one of the suburban towns around it. And so you know, you got all your stitchers around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You have your people around the Austin area, the San Antonio area, and the Houston area. I'm in the Odessa area, the surrounding communities, and one, that means that Odessa is the nearest big city and it's still an hour away. Two, I didn't find anybody on those lists from this area, from the Odessa Midland area, any of these surrounding towns. So to get to the closest stitcher to me is at least a 3-hour drive. So when I say that Flosstube and the stitching groups on Facebook are my people, I mean it, because there is literally no one out here. Or at least if they are, they're not on social media and there's no way for me to connect with them. There is there's an embroidery shop in Midland, but they do like those plastic canvas things and they don't really care. I mean, some of their products cross over with cross-stitching products, but that's about the extent of it. They don't cross-stitch specific. Okay, I'm digressing all over the place. Moving on. I am thankful for all the comments, likes, the conversations I've had with many people because of this channel, and I hope that I am here for many more years. I'm going to be like Jessie and be having a Flosstubiversary 5 years from now. Okay. So, on to Mania. Here's what I'm doing. You need my book. I need my book. Where's my book? One of these days, oh, you're sitting on it. Do you mind getting up for me? Yeah, thank you. Okay, you're gonna be a little lower now because you were sitting on this and it gave you a few inches. Okay. Here's what I'm doing. And I loved Katie the Stash Queen. She put out a video the other day to basically say that you do you. When it comes to Stitch Mania, it's really just about participation. It is about either finding the way that works for you or being a cheerleader if you choose not to do this. It's just about being community. But there are a few methods out there. A few, basic platforms that you will find most people fit into. And still at work, people. I'm sorry if this drives you crazy, but if I have it hanging down out in the wind, it'll smack me in the face and try and strangle me. So I'll put it down right now because I thought about it. But if it drove you crazy in the last video, I apologize. Okay, I digress again. There are many platforms that people separate into basic understanding of Stitch Mania. And then we all kind of divert from there. You take this base idea and then you make it yours. So, and Katie Stash Queen says it best because she is the Mania Queen. But so feel free to go watch her video. But I'll kind of try and do the best I can. For y'all that are here that have not been there. There is the original Stitch Mania idea, which was 15 starts in 15 days. One new start for each day. Does that mean you actually have to do one start a day? No. You can do, 3 starts on the first and then wait until the 4th to do another start. It is whatever your little heart desires, okay? So this, like I said, this is just the basis. Because some people have changed it based on the year. So there's 18 starts in 18 days. There's the Full Mania. I loved her nicknames for these because they're so perfect. Okay, the Full Mania, which is, sorry about the hand, my battery is dying. 31 starts the entire month. 31 days. 31 starts in 31 days. Katie's Dash Queen, she's doing 38 starts because she's 38 years old this year. Then there was the Blimey Cat method, which was, if you look at a calendar and you did Mania last year, let's say. And then on May 1st, you started a Bank Creek design. I'm going to make stuff up here, okay? And you didn't finish it. So, in this last year. So on May 1st, you're going to work on that one. And then the 2nd, you started a Christmas ornament, but you had that finished back a long time ago. So that day you can have a new start. I think that's all the ones she said. If I missed any, I apologize. But you get the basic gist. So mine is a combination of the full... Hold on. Sorry, I tickled myself. The Full Mania, and my brain went to the Full Monty. Sorry. Okay. The Full Mania and the Blimey Cat method. And I still have to work on my whips. And so here's how I do this. When I am at work, I usually start stitching at 8 o'clock-ish. As soon as the sun goes down. I feel like it's too hot to stitch to put fabric over my arms before the sun goes down. Plus, it's usually pretty busy until shortly after dark. At that point, I pull out my new start for the night. And I stitch on it until midnight. At midnight, it gets put up, and I work on a whip until 6 a.m. And, well, really 5 a.m. because I gotta pack up, go home. You hear me say this every time. You should know by now. So, yeah. So that's how I am able to both work on a new start and keep my whips in rotation because I can't get behind not working on them for an entire month. On top of that, I have my focus piece, so I'm going to work on the focus piece at some point during that night too, but of course it's up to 150 stitches. But I am also doing the Blimey Cat method. So, if on that date I had started a project last year and I didn't finish it, that will be what I work on the first part of the night. The second part of the night, I work on another whip. So there's that. Okay. So, with that being said, my calendar's gonna look just a little crazy. And it looks like this. Now, I will tell you that the pink slips are in no particular order currently. They are subject to change based on credit approval. Restrictions may vary. Sorry, I kind of felt like it was a commercial. Okay, so these could change at any point, but this is the base plan. As you can see, there's no pink slip here. You ignore this pink slip, it's a whip. So there's no pink slip here, none here. Is that it? Okay, so my carryovers from last year. I started Mini Phantom of the Masquerade on May 1st last year. So on May 1st this year, I'll be working on that Heaven and Earth design. And then something else after midnight. My balloon bookmark and the cat bookmark, I started them the first days of Mania last year because I had to have them finished by the end of the month for my kids' teachers. So those are both finished and we'll be getting new projects. Currently, I have it planned to where I start a project every day but I don't know if that will happen on my days off. It's kind of hard to stitch on my days off, but I might be able to get a new start, just, you know, a few stitches. We'll see. So currently the way that this works, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I have plans for 26 new starts currently. This is subject to change. Yeah. So, I don't see me finishing any of the other ones. So I don't think there will be any added, but there could be subtracted or removed or whatever. So, I'm also going to pull what I can, show you out of the bag, and show it to you in no particular order. Okay. And of course, again, not all of them because I just can't. But I'll tell you all of them. Do you remember when I said, remember this? I will come back to this. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so I talked about Faith, and I wish I had a picture of Faith. Maybe I could pull one up for y'all. Mind sitting in Stitch? I'll be right back with you. DreamWorks. So, I was telling you earlier that they kind of changed the color scheme when a couple more came out, and I only have one of them, so I don't know. I can't remember what all there was, but I'm trying to talk and type, and I don't do so well with that, so if I get quiet, that's why. Here we go. So you see the beautiful blues, greens, purples, pinks, right? And I'll even show you love, same color scheme, right? Of course, it's not going to pull up any of the others. That's a very bad picture of that one. It had Imagine Dream, Faith, Hope, Love, something else. Here's Friends. I love this color scheme. Do not get me wrong. I'm an autumnal girl. I love autumn. I love these colors. I love the hummingbirds. Oh my gosh, I love the hummingbirds. I just, like I said, it's just the fact that they had 6 that all use the same color scheme, and then they changed color schemes. It threw me off. But I'll be doing, it's on my list. I'm not going to say I'm going to be doing it because then I'll feel obligated. And we're not doing all that jazz. No, it's going to be a fun mania, rocking out, just enjoying it. And honestly, I'm probably going to start the crap out of everything and then set a bunch of it back in the drawer and not even put it on my whip list for rotation, because I think if I have that many on my rotation thing, it might freak me out a little bit. But I'll have them started. The next one, and this one will actually, it will be started. Period. End of discussion. This will get started in May. And I am actually doing it twice. Because when I first saw it, I was like, ooh, I gotta stitch this for such and such. And then went, but I really want it for me. So I am doing At Our House by Lizzie Kate. Thank you to the wonderful crafty Angie who sent it to me. This was her copy. And I seriously appreciated it so much that I'm going to stitch it twice. So, and both of them are going to be on the same fabric even. And it's beautiful. I love this fabric. Look, you can see me through it. This is 28 count Lugana in Roseland from Under the Sea Fabrics. And it's gorgeous. So there, it's perfect to cut in half and make 2 out of. But I haven't done that yet, so here is project number 1. Here is the project for me, but it doesn't have the fabric in it yet. I'm not going to tell you much more about this one. Okay, so on this pattern, it only gives you the overdyed threads. It doesn't give you the DMC conversion. So I was gonna Google and like convert it, but then these colors did not even show up on that list. And so then I said DMC dark pink, and then whatever number it gave me, then I pulled that. And I did change a couple because I did not like what it said periwinkle was. I didn't like that, and I didn't want the font to be in that dark brown. I still wanted the branches to be in the dark brown, but I didn't want the font to be in the dark brown, so I picked out a different color for it. I forgot to go and get a drink before I started this. So, I feel like I've got some drainage going on. So, the first one you're going to see will have colors very similar to this, with only a few minor changes. The one I am doing for me has some major changes. Like, I tore this all up, but I'm excited because it's more me. I mean, I went some really dark darks and some really bright brights, and so it's very contrasting, but I still think it looks good together. So those are those 2. So currently we're up to 3 projects, okay? You're gonna have to remember this and remind me in a few minutes where we're at, because it's the only way I'm gonna remember. Okay. Oh. It was not my husband. Just so you know, honey, when you watch this video, it wasn't you I was whatevering on my text messages, because he said something about that last time. I was like, I didn't even realize you still watch my videos. Oops. Okay. I don't know. Okay. The next one I don't have. Hold on, I do have the picture on my phone. It's a digital pattern I bought on Etsy, but really, my phone's being hard. Okay. This is House Targaryen, the Game of Thrones banner. As you know, I've already started House of Stark. They were buy one, get one free. So I bought both of them, and I just haven't started this one yet, so it's going on my mania plans. It is on this charcoal or chalkboard by Fiberlicious. And I'm loving House of Stark, so I can only imagine what House of Targaryen will be like. And so, Jesse, add another dragon to my count, because I will have one. Or can we count it as 3? It's got 3 heads. Anyway, moving on. We were talking about that earlier. Okay, so that's cool. Next. You know, these are all digital patterns. So, I think I might have this one in my Goodreads, though. But I gotta show you this fabric while I pull that up. I do. So, I ordered this fabric. It was called Mint Green on Fiberlicious website. I'm sorry, I keep not looking at the camera. And it's, I think, 28 count Lugana in mint green. But it is the most beautiful light blue, and the modeling is amazing. And it made me think of like broken ice, like on a lake, a very blue lake. See, it is not green at all. So I bought it for a project thinking it was mint green. It was not. So I was like, I didn't want to stitch that project on blue. I wanted to stitch it on green. So that's okay, because it fits perfectly with this project. And remember, I said it looks like broken ice. So you think cold, you think winter, you think Christmas. This is the Dash Away Stitch Along that Caterpillar Designs put on last year. Caterpillar cross stitch. So I didn't have to wait for each of the pieces. I just bought the whole thing. Works for me. I think it's adorable. I love the way it looks stitched up. I've seen several people that have done it, and it's going to go on that beautiful icy blue fabric. That was number 5. This is number 6. I just realized I have several projects in here that are gifts, and I think they might all be going to the same person. Anyway, I don't touch on touchy subjects in my videos, and you will never see me do so. At most, I will thank you for saying things like, you're in our prayers, which I did last week. Let me tell you here this one time, I am religious. I do believe in God. I consider myself to be of the Christian faith. But that's all I'll talk about it. I feel like faith is a very personal thing. And I don't like... I'm open to conversation. If you want, if I meet you at a stitch thing and you want to talk about your religion, I'm completely okay with that. I will not debate religion. I will not try and force mine on you. I will not talk about it for the most part, because it is a sensitive subject that divides people. And I choose to not be divided from anyone based on religion, my belief in my political beliefs, or race. Or sexual orientation. None of that matters to me. I don't get into it. So, but in this one case, I did get this pattern that is religious, and I am stitching it, but I am not stitching it for myself. So if you see these on here, I hope it doesn't bother you. That would be the only other time religion would come across here, is if I'm stitching something religious for whatever reason. This is Time for God by Lizzie Kate. It says, happy times praise God, difficult times seek God, quiet times worship God, hard times trust God, all times thank God. So I picked this up off of the stitch table at the Flosstube retreat with somebody specific in mind, who is very, very religious. So yeah, I'm going to stitch it for them, and I'm going to do it on this beautiful sparkly, let's see what it looks like there. It looks a little more orange than what it is in real life. It's kind of a peachy color. That's kind of, well, it was kind of true until it decided to correct the colors. Anyway, there's that. So that is going to go on that fabric. What do we say that was? Number 6? Number 6. This one is what I'm going to stitch for my husband. And he's aware of that. Which is a good thing, since I can't hide nothing from him. He's on my Flosstubes. So yeah, I picked this one up off the freebie table at StitchCon. StitchCon's in June, and I'm so looking forward to it. Flosstube retreat in Austin in October. So, Dad, a son's first hero and a daughter's first love. And I thought this was amazing for several reasons. One, my husband has been obsessed with owls his entire life. His grandmother had this owl statue. He's been obsessed. Also, we have one daughter and one son. It's kind of perfect. I might even change up my owls a little bit to not look more like my kids, but like maybe make it their favorite colors, or something like that. So, and then I'm going to do it on this sage bush from Under the Sea Fabrics. And when it auto corrects the coloring that it does, because I record this on my iPad, it really makes the lighter parts look, damn, it's a little more subtle than that. But anyway, that is going to go on that. And of course, anytime I stitch anything for my husband, it's really for the both of us, because I hang it up in our house. And if I stitch something for me, it's for the both of us, because it hangs up in our house. You know, that's kind of how that works. Now, this one, that was number 7. You almost let me forget. Oh, I didn't put the pattern back in there. This next one, it does have a specific day that I'm going to start it. In May, for Stitch Mania. Because, and the pattern's not here because it's too big for these things I keep them in. The weekend of the 18th through the 20th of May is the Mirabilia Minions Retreat in San Antonio, Texas, which I am going to because I was held at gunpoint by Regina and Carly, and they said I have to. So, but no, really, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad they asked me because it fuels that fire even more when people are going, come on, do it. So, because it's the Mirabilia Minions Retreat, I guess I have to start a Nora Corbett. I don't have a Mirabilia. Not sure I'm ready to go that crazy yet. I applaud you women that have done, and men, that have done these beautiful big pieces. They're gorgeous, and they scare the living crap out of me. So we're not going there yet, but I am going to start a second Nora Corbett. It's Miss Lowly Daggerwing. I might have a picture of it on my phone, because look, I do. I'm going to be starting her at the Mirabilia Minions Retreat. So that is this, and it is going on the same sparkly opalescent fabric as my other Nora Corbett Foxglove. It's sparkly and it's yellow and it's amazing. This was Apollo from Under the Sea Fabrics. And it's one set of beads is in there. So, what was that? Number 8. Okay. Next, number 9 is another Lizzie Kate. I'm Lizzie Kate obsessed, y'all. Yep. This is what my best friend bought me for my birthday. It says, cleaning the house while the children are growing is like shoveling snow while it's still snowing. I feel like Lizzie Kate and Dr. Seuss could make wonderful babies. So, it's just a small little one, so it won't take me very long. And I actually dyed this fabric myself. So I was playing with it. And if you'll ignore this one spot where I screwed up. No, maybe not. Anyways, it's supposed to be yellow. It's yellow. So, there's that. feeling like I need a Dr. Seuss pattern in my life. I may have to Google that and see if there's anything on Etsy. Okay. Number 9. That was number 9? That was number 8. Oh, you've let me lose track. Tell me again in a minute. I forgot. Next. Do you want to take a wild guess? Come on, I dare you. Yeah. Liz Kate! I'm a dork. I'm sorry. What can I say? My to-do list for today. Count my blessings, practice kindness, let go of what I can't control, listen to my heart, be productive yet calm, just breathe. I try to practice those things in my daily life. It's the letting go of what I can't control that seems to be the most difficult. So, this is on another piece of fabric that I dyed. It's beautiful pinks and purples, and I think this the one. I think I might have changed thread colors. I kitted this a while ago, so I'm not sure if I changed the colors or what. Thinking yes. Come back in, Sam. Okay. Ouch. We're gonna have to do a count. Recount! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am to 10? Y'all really screwed up somewhere. 1, 2. Let's say. We'll go with 10. I'm gonna have to wave somebody through here in a second. You wanna watch me do it? But it's good because you can hit the fast forward button. We're having a busy night. Okay, there will be another one in a second, but I think I can get through another. What are you? Oh, again. Some of these patterns. This one is a soda stitch kit. It's called World Travel or World's Postage Stamps. So I don't have it with me, but look at the pretty fabric it's going on. It's kind of a brownie pink color. It's oh, this is that Aztec where I thought it was supposed to be orange or red, but it's not. But I think it'll be perfect for this. So that works. I'm the princess and I just wave at people all day. So, there is that. Aztec by Under the Sea Fabrics. Fabric of the month for November. That was 11. Trying to see if any of the rest of these have patterns in them. Okay. We're going to have to just talk about these. This one is one I got as a pass the stash. It's Stony Creek. Let's see if I can pull it up. You know you wanted an extra long video for my Flosstubeiversary, right? Because I don't have my brain buckled in well enough. Okay. I love it when it just pops up on the Googles and I don't have to go searching for it. So, live, love, laugh. And I am doing this, the big one down here. And it says, Live every moment, laugh every day, love beyond words. Excuse me. And I'm doing it on this beautiful Emerald Grotto 32 count Jobelin from Under the Sea Fabrics. And it is a light blue with real subtle hints of green in there. You can't really, maybe if I, hold on. Is this white? Ish. You can't really make out that green in there. Okay. So, I'm going to do that pattern on that. Now, I did change out some of the flosses. Some, not all. Is this one? Nope, this isn't the one. Just kidding. I kept the flosses. I even bought the Wix Dye Works for it, which I don't do very often. So, I gotta remember what pattern it was where I changed the colors. I know there's one in here somewhere. So that was number 12. We're gonna go with 12. What is this one? Oh, darling. This does not have a note in it, but because of this fabric, I can tell you what pattern it's going to do. Oh, and it's going to be a fun one because I'm doing 1/1. I believe this is 36 count fabric of a soda stitch pattern called Santa's Village, the long one. I think it's Santa's Village 2 maybe, because it's long instead of this way. Anyway, that is what that is for. Otherwise, I think it was like, I needed like 52 inches of fabric. They didn't have a piece that big that would work for me, so I have to do it 1/1. But it's okay. I can do that. I've learned I can do that. Look, this one actually has patterns in it. And it's another Lizzie Kate. It's going to be a Lizzie Kate mania for me, I'm telling you. So, yeah. This is the one I bought the mint fabric for. Because I wanted it on green. And wanted it on a minty green. They didn't have it. Or it wasn't green. It was blue. And I couldn't do blue because look at that. And that. And that, no, the blue in here. Now there's green in here, but it's dark green, so it'll work. It's gonna work. So I found this. Man, it's pinned shut. We'll just do it like this. Yeah. This is Picture This Plus Masquerade that I bought at the Stitch Niche in Arlington, Texas. Oh, it is 40 count. Ooh. Oh, we're crazy there. But sometimes, you know, I'm not really picky about the count, okay? That's not really a thing for me. And I saw this fabric, and it was the only cut that they had that looked like this. And I said, I don't care what count it is, I'll make it work because it's beautiful. See, I gotta fix that. Here's the one that says Santa's Village with no fabric in it, and then I had one with fabric that didn't have. Look, and I didn't put my patterns back. This is why things get so messed up, Sam. Jeez. Oh, so I really need to go back and work on comments. I do, I promise. I might do that tonight or tomorrow. Anyway, but somebody made a comment on my organizational skills. And I don't know if they meant like how I keep my projects or how I keep track of my rotation or what. I will address it more in a future video, but I bet if they watch this video, they're going to be second guessing themselves on my organization because I've lost my plumb darn mind. Okay. But easily remedied. Oh, look. I need to kit another project. My husband will love that. I just got done kitting a project, or should I say I'm having Jessie Marie kit me a project. And so, I mean, it's gonna be a big one. And I'm excited. And I needed another hate, like a hole in the head, but I gotta quit saying that. It makes Jessie self-conscious. Yeah, so this one I don't have a pattern for. I just have pretty fabric in here. And it's called Fall Pumpkin. I believe. Oh, I don't want to lie to you though. Let me look. Hold on, let me peek. I think this is my first Alessandra R. Adelaide. Sorry to butcher your name. Alessandra Adelaide. It's a big pumpkin. So I've wanted to do one of her pieces for a really long time. And so I'm really excited about that one. And some of these, a lot of the rest of what I'm going to show you are smalls. Except this one. We'll talk about this one next. But let me just say. Okay, y'all. I have kids. Can you tell? This was in my bag with all my cross stitching. Yeah. Well, and to be fair, this stuff is typically in a dresser at my house, but I had my daughter pack it up so that I could do this video tonight. And why my son has exercise gloves, he made me buy them for him one night, and I don't even know why. So these were probably already in this bag before I had my daughter loaded up with stuff. Okay, a lot of these are smalls because I'll get them started, count them as part of Mania, and then they'll only get pulled out on Fridays. So it won't be a huge thing. It's not a thing. Don't worry. I promise it's not a thing. This is Fairy Tale Lands 1. If you've seen my Fairy Tale Lands 2, they are on the same fabric. It is Under the Seas Iced Grapes, 32 count. Oh, bless it. Excuse me. Really should have gotten a bottle of water. So, and it's number 1. If you haven't seen it, you can Google it. You can do the Googles, and it'll pop up. It's very similar to my Fairy Tale Lands 2, except with different characters. Okay. Next, small. And you'll see a lot of these smalls on the same fabric because I used the fabric for a pretty good sized piece, and then these are the smaller pieces that were left over. See, that makes total sense, right? This is that Dreamsicle from Under the Sea Fabrics. This is a pattern called Spooky. I actually saw someone on, I want to say Stitch Mania, that recently stitched that pattern. It's out of a magazine. It says Spooky in like a banner. So there's that. I think that's that pattern. Let's see what's Which Way. Again, this is going to be a Halloween ornament. It's on a very small piece of fabric, and it has something to do with witches. I don't even remember at this point. They're on my iPad, which I'm recording on. So that one was called Which Way. This one's called Stitching Witch. And it's going on. See, all the same fabrics. All my Christmas ornaments going to be on the same fabric this year. It's okay. I'll find a new fabric for next year. In fact, the piece that got stitched, the bigger piece that got stitched on that fabric, these pieces came from, was the Kit and Bixby free design. I don't know if you can still find it. It was like a big castle thing. It was really pretty. I loved it. And this one is a Christmas ornament. It's going to be a wreath on this purpley fabric. Huh. I didn't have very many Christmas ornaments in there. I'm gonna need some more Christmas ornaments started, or else. Oh, well. And then I have all my Advent animals on this list too. So, but I still think I need a couple more Christmas ornaments because my Fridays are Advent animal, Christmas ornament, Halloween ornament. So I need to make sure I have enough for everything. Okay, but look, I got another bag so I can kit one up. So the kits that I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh look, we got room for another one. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then of course Advent animals make up the last 6. So we're gonna take a vote. You know what? We're going to take, who's a gambler out there? I do want to say I'm not. I'm trying to get these back in the bag without spilling them all over the shack floor because it's dusty and dirty down there. I think, oh, that one's not shut. The girl that was working days, I think she had her door open and got hit with a dirt devil because the amount of dirt in the shack tonight is appalling. Okay. So, I also have this. It's the Tiny Christmas Owl by Armando Designs, but I don't know. My daughter kind of wants to do it, so I don't know if I'll get around to it. And of course I have empty ones to kit up some more. And one with a few of my finishes in it. What all do you have in there? Christmas ornaments, Halloween ornaments. One of these needs to become a small for the ornament exchange at StitchCon. Okay, so for all you gamblers out there, I want you to take bets on me. We have 26 open spots, 26 possibilities of starts. I will not start 2 things on one day. That's something that's, I feel we're getting a little too extreme, especially because I have plenty of whips already going. You know, I do this for the fun of it, and then I have one more start planned in June at StitchCon, and then I probably won't start anything else the rest of the year. So outside of Advent animals, because I gotta get them all done, or ornaments I should say in general. So 26 possibilities. I want to take bets down below. How many do you think I will accomplish by the end of Stitch Mania? So, and if anybody gets it nail on the head right, and you only get one guess, gets it nail on the head right, there will be something in it for you. Just because I think that'll make it fun. So, those are my Stitch Mania plans. Okay, so the whips that carried over. May 1st is Mini Phantom of the Masquerade. May 10th is my Stitch Rovia design quotes to live by. On the 14th, Nest is Blessed. That one I'm having a really hard time, man. It's not like Easter Tree. It doesn't make me want to pull my hair out. I don't want to quit it. I don't feel real motivated to get it done lately. May 16th, the Welcome to Christmas. May 18th, Autumn Wreath. And that's it. Those are my carryovers this year. So We're not including them, but I thought you might like to know. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see how I do next year. So last year I only had 12 kits to be able to start. So that's why I didn't have that many. Plus, I was only working 3 days a week back then, or 4 days a week, 3 or 4 days. So I was only starting them when I was at work. I wasn't starting them when I was at home, except for Phantom the Masquerade because it was a Heaven and Earth design. And so I would only start them on days I worked, and so that's why there weren't as many starts. My goal is to have at least, when I write my May for next year, I want to have one on it. I want to have something written on every day of the month. And then next year I want to see how many new starts I get, because I'll be doing the Blimey Cat method where I don't stitch, or I don't start something new if I started something new the year before. That also kind of coincides with whoever it was that came up with the whole stitch, I think it was Jessie, on their birthday. So the day that you started them, you should stitch on them every year. If you have one that goes over that many years. So anyway, that's where I'm at. That's my muy loco mania plans. But I'm not overwhelming myself with this. I am not putting any pressure on myself to do more than I can, to have to do everything. That is the biggest thing to remember when it comes to Stitch Mania. It is meant to be fun. It is meant to push you to your boundaries, make you a little bit crazy, but not to stress you out, not to make you hate this thing that we love. So nobody's putting a gun to your head and saying you have to stitch. So if you don't want to, don't. So there's a good chance I will not get all 26 starts, which is why you need to start placing bets on how many I do get. I would love it if I got all 26, but I'm not holding my breath. Because even as of right now, it's not that my stitchy bug is gone. I look at my projects and I'm like, man, I want to stitch on that. But the kids and I have been having fun with other hobbies the last couple days, and so I've been having a hard time setting those aside to go back to my stitching. So if you do not have another video from me this week, that is why. I did not do any stitching tonight. I did not do any stitching last night, because I'll be real with you, I've been playing Pokemon with my kids and it's been fun. And then they go to bed and I keep playing it until all hours of the night. And they didn't have school yesterday, so like last night my daughter and I stayed up till like 1 in the morning playing because they didn't have school yesterday. So, and then I woke up this afternoon and I was like, why haven't you cleaned your room? Why haven't you done your chores? She said, I've been sleeping all day because you kept me up all night. So anyway, I've been having fun with that, and I realized that I've been pushing myself to make sure I stitch every single night, and I don't have to do that. I love when I give you that number at the end of the month and it's 23,000 stitches and it's freaking awesome. And I really do want to complete Year of Whips, and in order to do that I really do need to be stitching on them to accomplish at least half. But there's no shame in not doing it because my kids are playing a game with me, and then I'm ridiculously addicted to it for the rest of the night. So that's where we're at. Again, it's been an amazing year. I look forward to another amazing year. I'm not going anywhere. I think partly because I have no rhyme or reason to my videos. There's no pressure for me to make. I enjoy them, and I enjoy when you enjoy them, and I feel like I have a real support system behind me, both in my personal crises of lately, and my stitching, and it keeps me accountable, and it keeps me coming back and doing it and having something to show. So yeah, I am happy. I hope y'all are happy. I hope y'all come back, and then I haven't talked your ear off this last hour for, you know, no reason. So I look forward to many Stitch Mania videos in the next 2 weeks, because we are closing in, people. May 1st is around the corner, and it'll be here before you know it, and then we're going to do all these amazing new starts, or these whatever you plan to do. I want to know what it is. If you make a Flosstube video, if you write a blog, if you made your own page on Facebook, whatever, if you want me to look at it, because I would be more than happy to do so, leave me a comment with the link, or private message me, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'll try and remember to link everything below on this video, so you can let me know. Remember, if you make a Mania video, and you send me the link to the specific video, not to your channel, but to the video, we're going to add that to a playlist, so that everybody that is totally obsessed with Mania start videos can, you know, go and look at them. If you're doing a vlog, that would be absolutely amazing. We want to know that, so that we can, I don't know if we're going to do a separate playlist for vlogs or put it on the Mania. I don't know. I'll talk to Jessie and I'll get back with y'all. So, again, you can go and message Jessie. You can message me and I will get it to her. Yeah. Happy Stitch Mania, everybody. Happy stitching. I hope y'all are happy and you spread the love, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.